Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Marissa. I'm a product designer, or some may call a UX designer, but that's what I do for my 9 to 5. Outside of work, I like to just experiment and have fun with software. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a digital vintage photo booth using Figma. I think it's a perfect Valentine's Day gift for your friends, partner, or family who might not live in the same city as you. So let's dive right in. Before we get started, let me share some inspos that helped shape my design. I went to a photo booth museum with my friends in the Castro, and something about it just made me want to turn that physical experience into a digital one. So I took a bunch of photos and videos, especially some interactions that I want to recreate. I have published my template in Figma, so feel free to duplicate that if you're in a time crunch. I will link the Figma community link in the description box below. But if you have been wanting to learn prototyping, you are more than welcome to stick around and I'll show you exactly how to do it step by step. I am going to break this tutorial up into 6 parts: the intro, the capture, the photo tray, the reveal, how to test and share your prototype. Okay, we are going to recreate the exterior of the photo booth. So let's grab a frame from down here, and I'm gonna do iPhone 16 Pro. Let's add a little background to the sky because it's Valentine's Day. And I made these illustrations using pen tool on Figma, but feel free to pull in any illustration, or if you want to keep it simple with just text or photo, you can do that as well. And I want to add a little start button here, so we'll grab another frame from down here, and then let's add a text inside. I do start. This text is way too big. And then let's do Kaperku. Okay, this is really hard to see, so I'm gonna add a little stroke to this, and I'm just matching my stroke to the weight of my illustration, which is 1.5, and then instead of manually adjusting the padding, I'm gonna use auto layout, which is this little button right here. And what it does is it will automatically adjust the padding on both sides, so you don't have to manually do it. Okay, this looks good. I also want to add a little frame up here that will have someone's name on it. So I'm drawing another frame, and then let's do the same style as the button, and then let's say Kara. I also want to add some flashing light animation. So we're gonna start by making 2 circles. And we'll make 2 of them. And then let's change the color of each circle. I'm gonna do green for one of them, and then pink. Sorry, that was my Pilates alarm to book a class. Anyways, so we'll select both circles and we'll make this a component set. The reason why we want to make this a component, or what even is a component, if you plan to use the same component over and over again in your design, it's best to make it a component so you can just copy and paste it without having to recreate a new one every time. So how do we turn these two circles into an animation? We will head over to the top menu and make sure you are in prototype mode, not design. And then we'll select the first circle and then draw the arrow to the second one. There are many triggers that you can select from the list here, but we are gonna do delay. This way the light would just start flashing without requiring any actions from the users. You don't have to click on anything for it to start flashing. So that is what after delay is. And then we're gonna do 200 milliseconds. And then for animation, my favorite is Smart Animate. And don't forget to apply the same animation backwards. So this way it loops. So we'll have after delay 200 milliseconds and then Smart Animate. Okay, so let's put this to work. I'm gonna move a component over here to the top, and then I'm gonna create a new section actually called component. I'm gonna also name this flashing light. I also made a swinging boots animation over the weekend. So this is also in my template if you guys want to grab some for your prototype. But let's put this flashing light animation to work. So one important thing to note here is to never ever take the original component. Always make sure you grab a copy of it because we want to leave the original component alone because it's going to be our reference. So let's add this circle to the button. And then in order to view the prototype, just make sure you select the frame, go to prototype, and then add a flow starting point. And then once you see this little play icon, you should be able to view your prototype. So the flashing light seems to be flashing, the swinging boot seems to be swinging. Awesome. So I want to recreate this old school countdown timer, and I found this static noise TV GIF on Jiffy that I'm going to use as a background. So let's add a little frame. And then this flow is pretty simple. I'm gonna do a countdown of 3, 2, 1. So just laying out all the screens, and then let's add a number in here. Let's also add a black screen for when the camera goes off. We're just laying out all the individual screens first, and then I'm gonna connect all of them at the end. All right, for our third part, let's work on the photo strip. So we'll grab a frame here, and I'm gonna do 140 by 160. And this is going to be a 3 photo layout. So make sure you have 3 of the frames, select all of them, go to auto layout to add frames to these photos. So make sure the settings is set to hug contents, and then adjust the padding however you want. And then I'm also gonna add a background to this. So go over here, click fill. We can't really see, but let's change the color to gray. Or you can also add a texture to this by uploading a photo. There you go. I feel like this is too wide. I'm also gonna add a text to this as well. There. Yay. Once you're satisfied with your photo strip, let's move this to component. And then once again, let's make this a component. So head over to this little star icon, diamond thing here. I'm gonna name this photo strip. And then let's upload all the photos to Figma. Okay, I'm gonna resize this a little bit. Okay, so all we need to do is copy the photo, go to each frame, and then just paste it into the frame. And then just adjust it however you want. Now let's work on the photo tray. This is my favorite part. I'm gonna be referencing this. I love this little spring animation. We're gonna pretend that this frame is a photo tray. So we'll have a starting state and an ending state. So this is when the starting state is when the photo is still printing, and then the ending state is when the photo is out, ready for you to grab it. So we'll make a copy of this little photo strip component, and then I'm gonna shrink this down. Actually, I'm not gonna shrink it down. Okay, I'm gonna put the photo all the way up here. So see how the photo is inside the frame? You can check it by looking at your layer panel. Actually, I'm gonna rename this to photo tray. Photo tray in. So I'm using the arrow key to push the photo strip up, and then for this one, I'm gonna have it all the way down. Make sure that the clip content settings is on. As always, let's make this a component set. We can remove this now. Make this a component set. Our library is growing. I'm naming this photo tray. Okay, let's add a little color to this photo tray. And we're gonna connect these two together, or we're gonna animate them. So we're gonna head over to the prototype mode, and then we're gonna drag the arrow from the starting state to the ending state, and then we're gonna do after delay again for this one as a trigger. So once they land on this frame, I want them to wait 2.5 seconds before the photo strip comes out. So we're gonna do 2.5 seconds. That is 2,500 milliseconds. And I'm gonna go with Smart Animation Bouncy for this one. There is no right or wrong answer to this. Just mess around and see which one you love. Okay, let's grab a copy of this component. And I'm also gonna duplicate this frame. Change this to a light pink color. Add this to the middle. I'm also gonna add a little text up here. And then a little flashing light could be cute. And make this a little bigger. Okay, let's put this to test. And we click on prototype, play this, and then click on this frame. Yay! Okay. So now on to our finale. I want to recreate this action of flipping through a handwritten note and a photo strip. So let's make a card first. I want the card to be, this is too big, about this size. And then let's add some text. I'm also gonna add a little texture to the card. So we'll do that by clicking the swatch and then click on this photo image thumbnail and then upload a photo. You can also play around with the opacity. And then let's make this a component. Gonna drag it over to our little library here. Let's grab a duplicate of this note component. And then we're gonna have 2 frames laid out. I'm also gonna grab a copy of our photo strip. So we're gonna have this as a starting state where the photo will be on top. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit so it looks more natural. And then for the ending state, we will have the note on top. I'm gonna slightly rotate it a little. Just like that, so they can flip back and forth between the two. Alright, now that we laid out all the screens, it's time to connect them all together. We're gonna start with this intro screen and then make sure we're on the prototype mode. And we're gonna start with the start button. So if the user tap on the start button, we want them to go to the next screen, which is this capture screen. So it's gonna be on click for the trigger. And then for animation, there's no right or wrong answer to this, but I prefer dissolve. And I'm just gonna do linear for the curve, keeping it simple. And then for the countdown screens, I want this to run automatically. So we're gonna do an after delay with 800 milliseconds and an instant animation. And we're gonna repeat this for all of the countdown screens. And for this black screen, I wanted to direct to the photo tray screen automatically. So we're gonna do an after delay, but a little faster, so 400 milliseconds with an instant animation. And then for the photo tray to the reveal, I want to make it so that when the user taps on this photo, the photo tray, it will take them to the grand reveal. So we're gonna select this photo tray and drag the arrow to the next screen. and we're gonna do on click, and we're gonna do an instant animation. And then for these two screens, I want to make it so that if you tap on the note, it will bring the note to the front, and if you tap on the photo, it will bring the photo to the front. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the note first and then drag the arrow to the next screen. And then for trigger, we're gonna do on click. And then for animation, we're gonna do smart animate. And then same thing for this one, same animation, same trigger. So dragging the arrow to the previous frame, on click, and then smart animate. So I'm gonna be playing around with the curve a little bit here. I'm gonna do spring. Then same thing for this one. Custom spring. Okay, now let's test this out. So you always want to test out your prototype before sending it out. And with Figma, you can also select which device you want to test this on. So let's say your mom has an iPhone 13. You might want to see what your prototype looks like on an iPhone 13. So let's see if everything is connecting properly. You can also view this full screen as well. I also recommend sending the link to yourself to test it out on your phone browser like Safari or Chrome. And to get the link, just click Share Prototype, copy link, and make sure this is set to Can View. Sometimes the browser bar may get in the way and it might push the prototype down. So make sure to adjust accordingly. congratulations, you have made it. I hope you guys had fun and learned a little bit about Figma prototyping. As always, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more fun projects like this. And happy Valentine's Day, happy designing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!